My name is Matthew Zemo. Today I will be reading a story from the book Boys in the Woods, written by Kentucky author Rudy Little. The name of the story I will be reading is The Story of Indians, which is about the power of imagination and three brothers growing up deep in the Kentucky mountains. Mama said, "All right, you boys need to go out and play." Robert said, "Oh no, Mama, we just want to sit here and watch TV." She pointed at the door and said, "This is a beautiful day. Now go out and play." Robert said he wanted to be a cowboy. So Ronnie said, "Let's play cowboys and Indians." Rudy said, "Okay, but we need to make bows and arrows." Each of us had a pocket knife, but Robert's pocket knife was very dull. Rudy said, "Let's go collect some very straight sticks about 3 feet long so we can make arrows. I think if we use limbs from the willow tree, it will make a great bow." Robert said, "We can use rubber bands for the bowstring," but Ronnie said, "We can use our shoestrings for the strings of our bows." Rudy said, "No, we will use the old TV line for bowstrings. Now let's go get enough wire to make 3 bows." After the sticks were cut, we decided to use old pop bottle lids bent over at the tip as arrowheads. Robert asked, "Why do we need to bend pop lids on the end of the arrows?" Rudy told Robert, "Because it puts weight on the end of the arrow so it will fly straight. The metal pop lids will also keep the arrow from breaking when they hit something." Robert said, "Okay." The willow limbs were flexible and a knot was made for the TV wire to wrap around. Robert stepped on the middle of the stick and we pulled the wire tight. Well, to be honest, these bows were not the best bows in the world, but they worked. We stood in the yard and practiced all day, and we started getting real good. Then Mama yelled for us to come in and we put everything away. Robert said, "Tomorrow we'll hunt for bear." Rudy informed Robert, "We don't have bears living in the mountains anymore." Ronnie remarked, "Then tomorrow we'll hunt buffalo." Rudy told Ronnie that we didn't have buffalo living in the mountains either. They both said, "Okay, Mr. Smarty Pants, then what will we hunt tomorrow?" Rudy looked both of them straight in the eye and said, "Tomorrow we hunt imaginary cowboys." The next day was wet from the rain during the night. We went into the hill looking for cowboys to ambush. The rain made the leaves wet and everything was quiet. Ronnie said he could see Old Man Johnson sitting under the big beechnut tree. Robert said, "Let's sneak up and ambush him." Ronnie agreed but added, "Let's sneak up and take him prisoner." Rudy said, "Let's just sneak up on him and be very careful because he has a real gun." Well, Old Man Johnson was sitting there looking in the trees for squirrels. We moved around the ridge as quietly as we could so as not to make any noise. Slowly up the hill we were moving in a round motion, staying out of sight. We finally made it to the ridge, and just above Old Man Johnson, Rudy whispered to Ronnie to creep around to the left of the tree and for Robert to go quietly to the right of the tree. Rudy was going to walk straight down the ridge and go behind him. Now once we were in place, Rudy said, "Wait for me to yell and start running straight at him. This will scare the old man to death." Each of us was smiling and we started down the hill. Each of us had our bow and arrow ready. Rudy looked over at Ronnie and Robert, who were in position, both ready to attack, when all of a sudden Old Man Johnson started shooting. When we heard the shots, all 3 of us started running down the hill. Rudy went right past Old Man Johnson, who was laughing, and continued to shoot his shotgun. We never stopped until we were home standing in the yard. Later that day, Old Man Johnson came out of the hills and gave Papaw 3 squirrels. He smiled as he walked past us and started laughing as he told Papaw what a good Indian he was raising. Papaw smiled at us and said, "Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your inner voice. You cannot truly express yourself until you first discover who you are. I'll always be proud of my Indians. Now go inside and get ready for supper. This was a good day." This concludes the story of Indians.